In this lesson, we're going to solve system of equations by using substitution, and we'll be able to solve a real-world problem by using substitution. So in the last lesson, you were graphing to find the solution. Now we're going to use substitution. You won't have to graph, and you'll be able to find out if it has one solution, no solution, or infinite solutions. So substitution is plugging in one equation for another, and we are going to also call it plug and chug, and I'll show you how it looks. Do you see how this first equation is solved for y? That means I can literally plug all of this whole 2x plus 1 in for y, and then I can solve for x. So here's what we'll do. 3x plus, I'm going to plug all of this in for y because that's equal to y. 2x plus 1 is equal to negative 9. Now I have to pack my boat before I can solve, so I have 3x plus 2x, which is 5x. I'm going to subtract 1, so I have 5x is equal to negative 10. And then I divide by 5, and I get x equals negative 2. So my x value is negative 2. Now to find what the y value is going to be, what we're going to do is we're going to plug that x value in here, because it's y is equal to 2 times the x value plus 1. So 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 plus 1. Negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. So this has one solution, and it is at negative 2, negative 3. Now if you wanted to check and see if that really was the solution, you could solve this bottom one for y, graph them both, and see that they in fact do cross here. But substitution is a way to check our solution and is a way to find it faster than graphing. Now in this situation, I want to use substitution, again, because that's what we're practicing. But this equation has this 2y here, so I want to solve it for x so I can have the x by itself. So I'm going to subtract 2y. So I have x is equal to negative 2y plus 6. Now I have something that will be good to substitute. All of this is equal to x, so I'm going to substitute all of this in for x into that next equation. So it's 3 times all of this minus 4y equals 28. I'm using this bottom equation to plug in everything here for x. I have to start by distributing. Negative 6y plus 18 minus 4y equals 28. I need to pack my boat and get my y's together. I'm down 6, then I go down 4 more, so it's negative 10y plus 18 equals 28. Subtract 18. And we have negative 10y is equal to positive 10. Divide by negative 10. And we have y is equal to negative 1. So I have my coordinate now, and I know my y value is negative 1. What I do then to find the x value is I use this right here. X is equal to negative 2 times the y value plus 6. Negative 2 times negative 1 is a positive 2, and 2 plus 6 is equal to 8. So this is my solution, and I use substitution to find it. So you can try the examples in your notes of substitution. Now, there is a possibility where I will use substitution and I will get something that is either a no solution or an infinite. So I'm going to show you what those look like. This is equal to y, so I'm going to substitute this value in for y. Negative 6x plus 3 times all of this, 2x minus 4 equals negative 12. Start by distributing. Negative 6x plus 6x minus 12 equals negative 12. Now look what's going to happen here. These x's are going to go away because I'm down 6, then I go up 6. So I'm left with negative 12 equals negative 12. This is a true statement because that's always true. So this is what we would call an infinite. You don't have to plug anything else in to find anything else. When I get this, I know this is an infinite, which means these are the same line. Remember when we graphed that, they were two lines, like one on top of the other, or the same line. So this is an example of when you could get an infinite. Now this is an example of a no solution. I'm going to plug all of this in for y. So it's 2x minus 2x minus 3 equals 8, because I have to plug all of this in for y. So I distribute that negative, and I get 2x minus 2x plus 6 is, oh, excuse me, that's plus 3 is equal to 8. This cancels, and I'm left with 3 equals 8. Well, that's not a true statement. 3 is never equal to 8. So this is an example of an empty set, which means these two are parallel lines. And if you solve this for y, you could see that they have the same slope. And so you would know then that they're parallel. But this is an example of a no solution. So try the example of the infinite and no solution in your notes. Real world problem, the store sold a total of 125 car stereo systems and speakers in 1 week. The stereos were $104.95, speakers $18.95, and the sales from these two items were $6,926.75. And we want to know how many of each item were sold. So we need to come up with some let statements here. So let's have X be our stereo, and let's have our Y be our speakers. Now, when we did the real world problem last time, we know that we are always going to have two equations, and one of them is going to be for the amount of objects that we have, and the other one is going to be for the amount of value that we have. So we need one equation for this, because that's the total amount of objects that we have, and so we're going to say x plus y is equal to 125. Because I have some stereos, some speakers, together that's 125 total. Now our second equation is going to be for our money value. So the stereos are 104.95, and then the speakers are 18.95y, and that's equal to that total 6,926.75. So using substitution, I'm going to solve for one of these variables, and it really doesn't matter which one you do. I'm just going to subtract x here. So I have y is equal to negative x plus 125. And when I substitute this value in for y, I'm going to be able to solve for x. So I have 104.95x plus 18.95. I'm going to substitute now for that y, minus x plus 125. Equals 6,926.75. So you'll definitely want your calculator handies here. So 104.95x plus, I'm going to distribute, so that actually becomes a minus, right? Minus 18.95x. This multiplied by 125, try that real quick here, is going to be 13, sorry that I'm taking so long here, 18.95 times 125. So that's going to be a plus 2368.75. And you can double check that math there. When I subtract these two x's, I have 104.95 minus 18.95. So that's 86x. And I'm solving for x, so I want to subtract this. So I'm left with 86x equals 6,926.75 minus 2368.75. Divide by 86. And you're left with x equals 53. So this is the number of stereos that we sold. So we sold 53 stereos. And then how do I find the number of speakers? Well, we go back to this equation here. And I know that I have a total of 125 objects. So I'm just going to subtract 125 minus that 53. And then I know it's 72 speakers. So you can solve a real world problem using substitution. I'm going to give you a little bit of an easier example to work in your notes. And then if you have any questions, let me know.